Good morning. As you can tell, San Antonio weather's kicking my ass a little bit, but it feels good to be home. I went on a little trip recently. I got to see my grandbabies. Got to be there about 3 days. I was coming home by the Amtrak, and I went Amtrak because it was cheap for me. And it was kind of cool. I hadn't been on a train in a long time, even though I worked for the railroad, and I hadn't been on an Amtrak since I was like 12. So it was kind of cool. Well, anyway, we hit a car on the way home, and it delayed us like 2 hours, so I wasn't able to catch the bus I was supposed to catch. And Amtrak decided we were 150 miles away from Chicago, so that they just put us up, 3 of us in Chicago, up at a motel. Gave us $10 for food, which wasn't the greatest, but the motel they put us up in was off the chain. I mean, it was fantastic. I got nothing but good things to say about it. Sleeping on the train was a little rough because I didn't get a coach. I mean, I was just slept in a chair. But anyway, all of that got me to thinking. I started thinking about things and how we do things sometimes in our lives, and things can be a little out of whack, maybe not perfect how we want them, and other people will add to our misery or add to the way things are. And my trip kind of reminded me of that, because I know people thought I went out for a mad old vacation, and I was, or some people actually thought I moved to Chicago, or who knows what they thought. I was there one night, big deal. Wasn't like I even had to pay for the room. But people make up their own thing, their own stuff. And sometimes when you're in a depressed state or things are happening to you, that'll beat you down. That'll make you start second guessing yourself and the decisions that you make. And really, how beneficial is that for us? I know it's not. I think I've talked about this before. I know when my grandmother passed away, my grandma Carmen, that was tough. That was a tough pill for me to take. And it was one of those things where me and my uncle were the only ones that didn't really go. You know, we weren't able to go. He had work and I had school. And could I have taken it off? Yeah, I probably could have. Do I regret it? Yeah, most definitely I do. But I don't beat myself up over it. I can't change the past. Same thing with the things that are happening to me now. I don't know how anybody could be more open about their life than me, unless they were telling you about their sex life, which mine is basically non-existent. Well, I am technically still married, so that may not totally be true. But anyway, that's another story. Anyway, my point is, you can be as honest and open with people as you can possibly be. They're still going to second guess your choices. And they may have really nice lives, but it's human nature. They can't help themselves. Kind of reminds me of a little bit about what happened to me when I was in Chicago. I was talking to a couple guys there that were taxi cab drivers. One guy was from India, one guy was from Africa. I got to talking to him. The guy from Africa won some kind of lotto to come down here to the United States. And I asked him, "Why'd you take it?" And he said, "Are you kidding? It's the United States. It's the best place in the world to be." And I couldn't help but feel good about that, you know. I couldn't help but think to myself. And I asked him, I said, "Did some of your family second guess your move?" And he said, "Oh yeah, definitely some did, but most of them knew it was a good decision because they knew what was ahead of me where I lived." And I think that happens in our lives sometimes, but people don't know everything that we go through. They don't know because we don't always tell them. We don't always tell them our whole story. So can we hold it against them? Not really. You can if you want. And some people, that's just their way. They're kind of fisgones. They got to kind of have their nose in your business a little bit. And they kind of want to guess. But maybe it's because their lives aren't everything that they would wish them to be. Who knows? Who knows exactly why? But the point is, don't second guess yourself. There's not a lot of time in this earth. Just enjoy what you got. Enjoy the time that you have. Do what you want to do. As long as you're not hurting anybody. And there's going to be people that think that the decisions you make are going to hurt somebody. And maybe the decisions you do make do hurt somebody. Maybe they hurt you a little bit. Who knows? But the point is, don't second guess yourself. There's not any real point in it. You can do it if you want, but really, it doesn't do you any good. Anyway, with that, I'll talk to you another day. This was just kind of a short one. It's just something that was on my mind. I couldn't help but think about it, and I wanted to talk to you about it a little bit. Anyway, with that, you have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.